Hey guys, it's Maymay and I'm so excited to bring you this project today. If you remember the gingerbread house album we did not too long ago, we'll link it in the description and then the iCard for you here. We're gonna play on that and we're gonna make a lodge album using this guy. Now, as you can remember with our gingerbread album, we did not leave it standing its normal way. Remember, we turned it up. We're gonna turn this one this way and have it stand up and look like a log cabin. Let's make this happen. So the paper we're going to use is Simple Stories Christmas Lodge. Isn't that fitting? By the way, this paper is stunning. You're going to love it throughout this whole project. So the first thing I want to do, the very first thing I want to do is I want to go through here. I want to do the easy part first, okay? I want to go through here and I want to cover all these pages just with background paper, okay? I'm going to do it like I always do. I'm not going to cover these because there's some cool cut aparts I might want to put there, just like I always do. Same on the back, but these pages I want to cover. Now, each signature needs 4 pieces to cover them, okay? So there's 4, 8, and 12 pieces we need to cut. So for the sizes of these 12 pieces, you want to cut them 6 by 8, and that allows you to get 2 for one piece of 12 by 12. So let's gather up our paper. So I do want to caution you one thing. If you want to make this album like I'm doing it with the same front covers and back covers, don't choose this page for covering your pages inside. Choose from a different set of pages because I'm going to use this for my cover and my back. So since I need 12 pieces, I've pulled 6 pieces of the pattern paper and I'm going to start by cutting off the decorator strip. Now I'm going to cut these down into 8, but I've got to show you something first, okay? Because we're not doing our album in this orientation, we're turning it and it's going to be a stand-up album. We need to remember that our orientation is this way. It can be confusing because this album is not made to go the way we're doing it. You want to remember your orientation needs to go this way. So as you can see, if I cut this my normal way, I'd be wrong. So I'm just going to make sure all of my patterns are laying correctly before I cut, and they are. So once my pages are all in the right orientation, I'm going to cut to 8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to do 8 inches here, and that leaves me with this that I can use for other things. Okay, I'm cutting 3 at a time, by the way. Then I'm going to cut this down at 6 inches. This is going to be enough to do 6 pages because I did 3. So what I'll do is I'll have these 3 in this orientation, in this side, and then I'll flip over and get these 3. How gorgeous is this paper? Oh my gosh, it is literally made for me. All right, let's check the orientation on these guys. Are you proud of me for checking? Look, see, I would have messed this one up. Let's do him this way. And then check here, Birdie's facing that way. Words are facing correct. All right, we're good. Now I'm gonna mystery style that Santa page. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. We're gonna see. I may have a little bit of Santa on one side and then not much on the other, but that's okay. We will make it work. So these pieces I can use later. And then I'm going to go here and cut them down to 6. The beauty of these albums is they basically make themselves. It's so easy to do. You want to see what happened? You want to unveil the mystery, or should I wait? We'll do it now. So we have Santa in the bottom corner. Not a big deal because his second page I'm going to use the back side of anyway. So see where we see his little bottom? It's okay. We're using this side. So look, perfect. All right, now let's go back to our album. Breaking in here to ask you to hit that red subscribe button. It's free. Also hit the bell button beside it. You can help me reach my big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers. Okay, back to crafting. The quickest, fastest part of this album is putting these pages in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy right here, okay? I'm still going to put a photo mat here later. I may just have to edit this page if I want Santa to show. Santa may get covered up. I'm not going to stress about it. We'll see. But I'm going to glue him down here. So with all the pages I just cut, I'm going to run through and glue them into place. Ooh, before I do, I want to tell you something. Look, I'm so excited about this album. When I showed this before, some people disagree with me, and it's fine. You can disagree with me, no big deal. But I feel like these albums have a way to open them and a way not to open them, okay? So do you see how flat this lays when I open it like this? See that? Let's say I did it the other way around. I want you to see the difference. You see how it resists me? It's because these pages kind of get a little hung when you open it that way. So I want you to pay attention to that when you're putting your paper in. I want you to make sure, look, I'm just all over the place. I want you to make sure that it's laying nice and flat as you go to stack, and this becomes the front of your album. Now, the reason I said some people disagree with me is because this album really can be open in either direction, but it is a little harder. You get a little more resistance from the other way. So I just wanted to show you that. I had some people point it out in the comment, and I said, yes, I'll make sure I talk about it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to glue down my pages just using some art glitter glue. So you guys, I taught a class this weekend at Holly Jollyopolis, and I used paper that was craft and navy and red, and it was beautiful paper, but it was so outside my comfort zone. And I was telling my students, I miss my classic color scheme, right? I miss my black, red, and white. And so look, I'm leaning in right now, baby. I'm doing it for real. I'm leaning into that color scheme. All right, so I've got those pages. I'm just gonna run through and do them all. Now, you remember early on I told you not to use this piece for inside? Here's why. I want this guy to look like a lodge. So I'm gonna use this wood page to look like a lodge on the front. I'm gonna cover this up with something. I think you'll really like it. Now, one thing to caution you, this album is 6.5 by 8.5. And normally we would cut our paper a 1/4 inch smaller than that, so we'd have a small trim around it. Well, because I wanted to get 2 pieces from one piece of 12 by 12, I cut this one 6 by 8, just like I was doing the ones on the inside, and I'm just gonna have a bigger border, and that's not a big deal. I just wanted to be sure I could use the paper to my advantage. So I got 2 pieces. Now this one is gonna be for the front, and again, I'm gonna cover those words up, so I'm just gonna glue this down. Then I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna use this gorgeous page for the back. I feel like that looks like the back of our cabin and like the flowers have grown up the side or something. I think it's beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? So we got all our pages inside covered. I'm just in love with this. You don't have to do anything for it to be beautiful. Look at it, it's so pretty. Okay, let's do the thing for the top so you can understand how it's gonna be in cabin. So the roof of my cabin is going to be red, but we're going to do a cool little technique to it to make it kind of blend in. So this piece is 4.5 by 11, okay? I'm going to turn it on its side, and here's where we're going to score it. We're going to score it at 1 3/4, and then we're going to score it at 2 3/4. Sorry, an inch away, 2 3/4. So there's our scores there. Now we're going to turn it. Now we're gonna score it at 1 1/4 on this side, and then 9 3/4 on this side. So this is gonna be eventually what becomes our roof. Now let me show you how that's gonna happen. We're going to, first, let's do the fun part first. I'm going to ink drag this guy. I want it to feel like it has kind of a rustic wooden lid that's like this, but not exactly. And I'm using the red so it'll really pop. And if you've never ink dragged before, this is one of my favorite techniques. I'm using my glass mat, if you're wondering. That's why I'm not too worried about my surface. But what I'm gonna do is take my ink pad, this is a full-size walnut stain, and I'm just gonna drag across this page. And I want you to see how willy-nilly I'm being with it. I want a lot of dark and light texture because I want this to feel like planks of wood, sort of. It's not gonna be exact, but I just want a lot of different textures here and there. I may even add some more of that and do that there too. And just ink drag all across this guy. You don't really know where the texture is going to land by the time it's done, but it really looks cool, and it just kind of blends itself in to the front cover and how it looks on the page we chose. And I like the red behind it because it makes it look like a little red topped cabin. What else is cool about this is now I can really see my score lines. So what we're going to do is make some cuts. Let me show you. So I've shown you this before where I like to cut out the score mark altogether. So this is gonna be a cool way to show you. I'm going to cut on either side of this score mark all the way up to where they cross over right there. And I'm basically removing the score mark. I don't want to cut angles here. I want to use this to my advantage. So do you see this little strip that I'm cutting out of there? I'm literally cutting our score mark away. So to either side. My paper's wet, so you might want to let your paper dry because it is being a little bit persnickety. But look, we'll flip those up. See those? And we're going to snip those off. And this is one of those things that we're just going to paper engineer this. We're just going to make this happen and trust the process, and it'll work out. All right, same thing here. Let's take these 2 little score marks off. And again, take those up. You could take them underneath if you wanted. I just do them like this and just snip. snip. And if I don't do a good job on those snips, I can fix it later. All right, let's fold and crease all of our score lines. You can see these score lines so well. I might have just taught myself a trick in showing you guys how to score well, because now that you can see them pretty good, I might could show you exactly how scoring works. Did you see how wide it was and how much we took out? That's what I talk about when I say that our score line is pretty wide. So sometimes we have to tell it what part of that score line to fold in. All right, here's where you're gonna struggle if you just can't eyeball things, but here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna trim away a little less than half of this bottom flap. And here's what I mean. I'm gonna eyeball, you could measure, but I'm gonna eyeball about 3/8 of an inch and cut that away. Now, once I've done one, I'll use this as my template. So I can just lay this up here so I know that every time I'm cutting the same amount off. We just don't need quite that much of the edge. So just gonna eyeball it, just like that, okay? And then we'll do the same thing. We'll use it down here as our template. Line it up. And listen, this does not have to be perfect because this is gonna hide inside of all of our ink dragging. Let's do one more. If you want to measure, I do about 3/8 of an inch, but if not, just do like I did. Okay, I don't need these guys. They were just there for a minute, but here's what we're gonna do. You gotta trust the process, okay? We're gonna turn this little flap down on the side like this. These guys are gonna cross over, and I'm gonna glue them to that little flap just where they touch. Do you see that? Just where they touch. That's my measurement right there. So I'm going to glue that down. Let me hold it in place. I'm going to glue that down just like that, and then we'll deal with that point in a moment, okay? So what I want to do first is add a little glue to this side. You could add glue to both sides and line this up at the same time. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to bring this over and line my points up at the bottom, then reach underneath and press that in and hold it. Now, I will have to go back and add a little glue under this flap, but we're just paper engineering. We want this to look like this, and this is how we're doing it. I didn't want it to be square. I needed it to have a little width at the bottom. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and wherever this is not flat, I'm just going to do it like this. Do not stress if that's not perfectly straight. That's all I'm doing is cutting that little flap off. Let's do it again, okay? I'm going to take this little guy and put plenty of glue on him. I'm going to cross these guys over until they meet at the bottom. So I get that little angle, press that up, hold that in place for a second, and then add glue under the loose part. Did you see what I did? I slipped. So much easier if you do it on your work surface. Me trying to float it in the air so you can see it is difficult, but if you just put it down on your work surface, like so, let's add glue under this one. So we can get that glued down really well. And that, once we trim this off, is our roof ledge, or actual whole roof. We do have one more thing to do to it, but let me show you how it's gonna work. So here's our little cabin roof, and it's gonna live on top of here, and it should be snug, okay? But it's gonna look like that on our little cabin. Isn't that cute? I think it's so cute. And it will hold our album up for whenever we're displaying it for people to like see the little cabin. Love it. All right, so let me put this aside for a minute. Now what I want to do is make one more embellishment for it, okay? I thought it needed something. I didn't want to use scallops because I normally would do scallops with a gingerbread. This didn't feel scallopy to me. So let me show you what I am going to do. So from the same red paper, I've cut some strips. These are 8.5 by 1/2 inch, and these are what was left over from my 11-inch paper that I cut. They are 2.5 inches. Now these will change in a few minutes, but for now, this is what we want. So I'm gonna ink drag these to look like wood as well. So let me show you. I'm gonna place this down and drag it, and then I'm gonna flip it over, and where I started there is where I'm gonna lay my ink pad down again, and see how you get, let me bring this up. See how you get that like log? You see how it, like the wood meets here, and the ink's all over your hands and glue? I've been playing a lot today, guys. All right, so I'm gonna do that again and get that kind of wood touch together look. Oop, I missed it. And if you do, it's no big deal. Just go back over it because we're looking for rustic, right? And then let's do it to this long one. You could even do it a couple times here. So do it once and then touch this one to that and do it again, and then come down here and do it again like that, just to get the look of wood. There we go. All right, clean my surface. Have I told you how much I love my glass mat? We'll leave the link below for the glass mat, but I just love it. Look how easy that is. I didn't even use cleanser, and that's just a microfiber cloth. I get them from Amazon. All right, here's what we're gonna do. This was my thought. Instead of a gingerbread roof, I'm gonna finish this with a wood plank across the end of it, if that makes sense, to give it a little bit of texture. And also stability. So I'm gonna run this glue down just like this. And then I'm gonna glue this guy on. And you can make him flush with the bottom, or you can make him kind of hang over. That's really up to you. You just kind of want to keep him even if you can. If you're gonna let him hang over, check the back side and make sure it's about the same. I let him hang over a tiny bit there. Now let's put one on the back. I've got the tiniest bit hanging off the side. I'm gonna cut that away. My cardstock is wet. I was telling y'all that. When it's wet, it's a little harder to cut. Then I'm gonna use these pieces on the end, and I'm gonna match them up to the pieces I have on the front, but then I'm gonna cut off what I don't need. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about how long they are, and I don't wanna figure out angles, so this is how I'm gonna do it. Also, we're making a rustic log cabin. So I don't mind if my boards are crooked or dented or torn even. That just makes it look more rustic. All right, I'm gonna flip this guy over, and I'm gonna trim those away at the angle that they are. It kind of looks like we've made a window box. Like you could put this on the bottom of a window and fill it with flowers, right? Okay, so this is our little roof. Let me show you how it looks on the book. I think that those little wood pieces really, the little edge pieces, really clean up our roof. Isn't it cute? And of course we can decorate it for Christmas. We can put lights on it or whatever we want to do. But now we need to work on the front of this guy. Okay, so I want to show you guys that I did a thing. I went to my Cricut and I cut out this window pane, okay? I will link below this window if you have a Cricut and you want to use the same file. I'll link it. I do not know if there's a charge to use it. I am a subscriber and this window was part of my subscription. So I don't know, but if it is, there are other windows that you can choose on there that may not be, that'll be free or whatever. But also, if you don't have a Cricut to make a window, don't fret. In the first video where I did the gingerbread, I show you how to make a window. So you can do the same thing. I just thought this would be really, really super cute. So let me show you what's gonna happen. I didn't wanna make a door and all of that. I'm not good at all that placement. So I did this window and we're gonna put it here. But I did decide I wanted it to feel like you were looking into it and like there was wallpaper inside. So this is what I picked to go behind it. I think this will be cute to look like wallpaper inside the house. So I'm gonna glue this down. Now before I do, let me show you some other options, okay? You could use this if you wanted it to have wood grain inside, which might be beautiful, and I may change my mind after I do all this with you guys. Look, even this, so it looks like, gosh, but that's a lot of wood on the front. Let's keep checking pages. So if you wanted it to have plaid, oh, I love that too. This is so hard. This paper, probably not this one, it's a little bit dark. The point for me was I wanted to kind of brighten it up. You guys know I have buffalo check all over my house, so I could use that one. Look at the plaid. This is pretty. This one was a tough choice. But when Shannon and I were looking, we both were like, oh, that's pretty. Too dark. We both were like, this feels like wallpaper to us. Now, you do you, okay? If it doesn't, use a different one. If you're not a fan of this one, no big deal. You don't even have to put a window. You could do a door, or you could use just the cut aparts and just decorate the front. But I just think this is gonna be so pretty. Oh, I might need to put a little glue in these little areas. Probably not, they'll be fine, but let's just put a dot just in case. All right, and I'm gonna glue this directly down to here. I am gonna pop this up on the cover, but I'm just gonna glue this down like this for now so I don't have to fight foam adhesive inside those little areas of this guy. I don't wanna do that. So what I'm gonna do is cut this guy out. If you're not confident with your scissors, you could use your trimmer for this. All right, so there's our little window. I love this guy. Let's put some foam on the back. Oh, I could have put that out the window. Who knows? Who knows? We're gonna decorate it up. Now, because this is going on the front of an album, I'm not gonna be skimpy with my Scotty, okay? Scotty is my foam roller, by the way. Not gonna be skimpy with him. I really want him to have pretty much the whole back of this covered. So let's put that there. Fit in there. So I'm just gonna lay out foam to cover most of the back. It doesn't have to cover every little bit, but I wanna have a good bit back here. All right, I'm gonna peel off the back. Maybe I should show you where it's going first. Let's bring it over, because once I peel it off, it's there. So this goes like this. Now you're also probably thinking, why did you do white on that little house? Why did you do white? I thought it needed it. The things I'm going to be adding to it, let me show you an example. All of the pieces from my paper pack are outlined in white, and I want to use the chipboard pieces, and I find that the chipboard does not ink as well, like distress ink, as well as the stickers or the paper, because this is such a shiny finish, and I'm just going to let the white be a feature. So that's why I'm doing that, okay? But if you want to distress it, if you want to ink it, make it a little bit more blendy in, you can. I'm just going to leave it white. So let me do it, and if you don't like it, edit it. Let's get this guy all peeled and ready. Something else I'm going to do, because this is an album that I want to live forever, I'm going to add dots of glue on the back of here for stability. Not that it necessarily needs it, but in my head, it matters. All right, and I'm going to center this. Now, I'm going to stand this up so I can see it because I don't want to mess this up, but I will lean it over and show you guys in just a second. All right, that's about as close as my eye's going to get it, and I think it's pretty good, about like that. Now let's talk about the pieces I want to put on it. Remember how I told you I wanted this to look like it was outside, right? That we were outside the cabin. Look at the ephemera pieces. These are from the ephemera pack. I think these are called bits and pieces. Let me see what they're called. Woodland bits is what these are called. They come from this little pack, and I think these are so cute. So these are just a few that I picked out that I wanted to use. And I may put a little snowbank or something here. I don't know, I might. But I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna lay this out. And I wanted to put this Santa in front of the window. And there's actually a couple of Santas you can choose from. There's this guy. There's the one that's going this way, but he feels too big to me. I thought he felt like a better size. And I might even switch and put this bigger tree behind him. Have Santa and the big tree standing outside the window. Maybe something like that. Let me show you something else I want to do. So I also have the chipboard pieces, and see these that are missing? I want to use them. See this wreath? I think it is perfect right here in the middle of this window. So that's where it's going to go. I can go ahead and put it down. Now these are sticky back, so you just peel off the protective adhesive and then add some glue. I like to add a little glue to these guys. Like I said, I want it to stay forever. And I know I want this wreath to go here in the middle. I'm going to tilt it up again, guys. So I know I want this one to go right here. I just love that little wreath. He's so cute. Let him stick there. Now I can decide about Santa. Do I want the bigger tree on this side, or is it too much? Look how good he looks outside his little house. Isn't he cute? All right, let me see if I have some more trees I can use on the other side. So I found a chipboard one, and I think what I'm going to do is layer these guys up to kind of give the same size on the other to this side and not do a snowbank. I really don't want to put white paper on this. But I want to show you this. I also have this deer that would be so pretty standing here. But he feels a little small next to Santa. Let me get the bigger one, which I think is too big, actually. Yeah, he's way too big. Santa would be scared of that deer, right? So let's go back to this guy. He may not be too small. He could look, you know, he's a little smaller than Santa. We can do the deer or other things. Let me show you. There's lots of more chipboard pieces, and there's lots of ephemera pieces we can choose from. Okay, guys, there's a Christmas moose, but I think he's too big. I love him. I don't know. He may not be too big with Santa. I think I'm going with that layout. I think he's cute. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put some foam on these guys that need to be lifted up. So you see I put foam to one side, and I'm going to put glue to the other. So wherever it touches, it'll glue itself down here. So the foam goes beside the window. There we go. And we glue him down just like that. And let's get these guys glued down. Now Santa can pretty much just get glued flat down because everything under him is pretty much popped up. So we're going to glue him down. And I really like this moose. I know he seems big, but I think he works. I'm putting him there. If he's not your favorite, I get it. Do something else, but I think he looks cute. I'm going to glue him kind of in front of the tree off to the side a little bit. Maybe he'll look a little smaller if I put him away from Santa a bit. This piece feels perfect to me for up here. Doesn't it look good on the roof like we have some kind of display on the roof or something like that? I'm going to put that up there. I think I'll stand him up a little bit so I can see it. I'm going to put it so that it's on that little board we put at the bottom of the roof. You know what I'm talking about? The little piece of paper we made to be a cross board. I'll put him like that. You squish that down. I think that's really cute. Love that. Okay, so I'm going to take a break on the front for now because this is a lot that I wanted. I will tell you though, I do think this could use some ink. I'm going to try it. If it's bad, we'll know. But I think I can come in here and just kind of distress him a little bit. And maybe through here a little bit. Just a little to knock him back so he matches just a tiny bit. So in hindsight, you might want to do this too. Doesn't hurt a thing. See, it just knocked him back just a little bit. It looks good. Okay, let's go back to the inside. So remember how I told you that this paper pack has all these cute cut aparts? I love how these look. This guy's a little long for the way I want to put him in the album. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line him up next to this guy and trim him off even. I'm just going to grab my scissors and cut that off. And this is not wasted. I'm going to use that on this same page. Now I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of line them up like so. And then this guy, I'll either use him here or I can use him in the back. But let me show you the other pieces. So there's this little piece that looks kind of like a window kind of thing that we could stamp or write in or what have you. There's another little piece here. He's a little bit wide to go here, but I think I can trim him off because you see how uneven he is. I'm going to trim him down and see how he fits. Oh, I can go even more. Let's go more. So I went to the frame on both sides and he's perfect. So he's gonna go right there. And then at the bottom, I can add a sticker or anything. Let's look at stickers. Let's glue these down and then we'll put the stickers in. So the pictures I'm gonna use, the stickers I'm gonna use are right down here. These are so cute. I think they'll be cute, just sort of willy-nilly going down the side as if somebody had tickets to a concert or something. Won't that be cute laying in there? And just, like I said, willy-nilly like this. And I don't have to do all of them all the way across. I could pick a word or something to fill in the gap. Let's see what we got. Look at this big one. What if I put the big one here, kind of straight, and then we could finish it out with the others. I love that. That's perfect to finish that off. Let's see what we can put right here. I found these 3 little hearts that I think will be cute and be just enough to fill in this little space. Cute, just a little something there. And then I can write notes and journaling for whatever this album is for the events, right? I'm gonna do something very similar to that in the back using my leftover cut aparts. So I'll do that real quick and we'll get back together. So you can see here, I just cut those leftover cut aparts in all different ways to make them fit. Added some stickers. I even put something in the wrong spot. I had to peel it up, so I got a little bit of mark there, but it's okay. I'll cover that up later or what have you. But that is how we're gonna have our little like dashboards. I think those are really cute. All right, let's talk about the pages. So we have a new stamp set that kind of goes along with our Picture Perfect set that we did with Genevieve. We did another one and it's called Prompted Album, and it uses all of the sentiments you guys requested. And so I have that new stamp set. We'll put a picture of it here for you and we'll put it in the description below, the link for it. I'm using from it the place photo here and the 4x6. What I love about that set is we made it where you could put any size you wanted. We gave you a decimal point and all the numbers separately, so you can put any size you want. I'm going to go through here and use 4x6 photos. I think it will be cute. And look how cute Santa is peeking out underneath. I'm going to just place them on this page. Now, that means I'm going to have 12 4x6 photo spots in this album. And I'm going to be honest, 12 photos in an album is perfect in my opinion. One good photo per page decorated up is perfect. So I'm going to place these guys in, or place these 4x6 photo mats in. And this lets the recipient of this album know what to do on these pages. So I'm going to run through and just place them. Some in the middle, some to this side, some to the bottom, ever how I want to do it. And we'll get right back together. So let me show you here, okay? So I've placed one here, and then you can see in here, they're laying out differently, right? And I just tried to be whimsical with it. I just tried to lay them in different places. Now, how wonderful. You open every page and you see a full-size photo. Plus, the other thing I love about this, if you're giving this as a gift, most people don't print their own photos at home or what have you. This allows them to just print them from a local printing shop and tell them they want them to be 4x6, and they can fill up an album in no time. Now, let's talk about decorating each page, okay? Now, in your paper pack, you get stickers, and stickers are beautiful, and you can use them wherever you want to. But I also got the ephemera pack here, and what I love about the ephemera pack and albums, Whenever you're wanting to put something that'll be kind of over the page or over the picture and off of the picture, with the sticker, you need to put some powder on the back to take the sticky off and not glue it down, you know, onto the page, because I want a photo to go behind it. But with something like this, what I love is I can just pick this guy up. I can put glue at the bottom. You guys know I was never really much on ephemera, but lately with these albums, it's my favorite. Glue it down just to the bottom, leaving the top loose so the photo can slide right underneath it. And in our new stamp set, you can even stamp tuck photo here. We got that for you. That was a request. So now you would run through and pick where you want to put new or other things around the photos or decorate. The other thing about your stickers, look how pretty that is right there. The other thing about your stickers is maybe you have some places you want to put a sticker. Like you want there to be some wording or something like that. You can totally use your stickers to make that happen. Let's do, this holiday greetings is really pretty. Maybe I want it to live down here as part of, oh, you didn't even see me do it. I just stuck it right here. Maybe I want it to be here as part of the paper. Does it make sense? Now I will tell you this. I suggest you wait to do this. Don't glue these things down now, because if you are giving this as a gift full of photos, you might want to match your ephemera or your sayings or your sentiments up to whatever the photo is. For example, special delivery. Maybe there was a special gift someone got that year and you want to put that on that particular page. If you're giving this to someone and you feel like they could do it, you could give them the ephemera to do it with, or you go right ahead, add all your ephemera to the page ahead of time, and then when the recipient gets it, they can just tuck their photos like that. Santa's perfect right there. Let's put some glue and leave it open for the photo. And this album is ready. I don't think I mentioned in the beginning of this video that this is a 49 and Market album, but it is. These pre-made albums are the most fun and the best thing you can do for Christmas, honestly. It's a gift for you and a gift for another person, because it feels like you have spent so much time creating this album, and honestly, it just does not take any time to put this album together. I want to say I started working on this album at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is 3:20. I'm not making that up. It is 3:20. Now, I did cut that piece on the Cricut, but I even did that since I started this when I got back to the office from lunch at 2 o'clock. That's how quick this is, okay? So run through, put your ephemera on, get it ready as a gift, put your little roof on, and wouldn't somebody love to get this little cabin album as a present? Let me do it where you can see it. Isn't it adorable? I love it. You could add greenery, like, look, let me show you this. And I may do it, I don't know. I just wanted you to get to see this album. You could add greenery here to kind of soften up the edge if you wanted to. Maybe this bigger piece here and the smaller piece on the other side or something like that. You could add this greenery and soften it up, whatever you wanted to do. It is your playground. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy this album and you give these pre-made albums a try. Now, I know a lot of you have already jumped on board and you love them like I do, but these guys just make life so easy. And I'll show you the back so you can see how that turned out. Look how beautiful. Isn't it gorgeous? And see this, I mean, you can't see it like this, but to see this sitting up like on your coffee table or on a bookshelf, it looks like Christmas decor, but then it's an album. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You can tell how much I loved it because it's red, black, and white, and it sang to all of my Christmas senses, and I love how it turned out. Tell me in the comments below how much you love it, or tell me if you've not tried one of these guys. You need to try these pre-made albums. It makes life so easy. I just think they're incredible, and when you use the paper packs and the ephemeras to your advantage, it makes a day in the craft room really, really fun and easy, and you can get a lot done at one time. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You can hit that like button if you enjoyed this kind of content. And until next time, guys, bye now.